been quite a while since I've done an unboxing video, and it's in part because there haven't been a lot of really cool things that have come in over time. But I do have a package here that arrived yesterday that I've been really looking forward to, and there's a backstory, as there often is to these sorts of things. So I got into a conversation with somebody in one of my philosophy chats who goes by the moniker Kathmandu. He wants to keep his identity more or less anonymous. And we were talking about non-alcoholic beer, and there's like a whole backstory to that. And he mentioned that there was a brand that he really liked, and had I tried it yet? And I said, well, I don't think I've heard of that. And I looked up one that we'd had at a concert recently here in Milwaukee that was also really, really good, and it's not top of mind right now. But he said, why don't I actually send you some? It's the best non-alcoholic beer that I've run across, and I've tried quite a few. And I'll send you like a sampler pack just because, I like the work that you do and you're into this sort of thing. And I should mention, too, before I open this up, that why am I drinking non-alcoholic beer? A couple reasons. Health matters. I'm diabetic. I'm on medication. So really drinking alcohol is contraindicated, and it's not a good idea to do anyway. And, non-alcoholic beer has really, really come a long way. When I was in my teens and 20s, we had O'Doul's, and then there was Klosterhaller. And you could tell who the people who either weren't drinking or weren't allowed to drink anymore, because they'd be drinking that stuff at the bar, and you take a sip and you'd be like, oh, this isn't good at all, right? But, man, there's so many good NA beers out there, including versions of things by important brands like Guinness or Heineken that taste great. But there's brewers that also specialize in this. And I and my wife, to a lesser extent, have been having these things, about, 4 or 5 years. And we love the taste. There's a number of companies that we like, and it's a little bit expensive sometimes, but we'll get some stuff from, or we'll be at a concert, and it's nice that there's non-alcoholic alternatives available. So this is from Bravus Brewing Company. You can kind of see the logo there. It's going to be upside down for you, just the way the box is. And I had never heard of them, but they look like a pretty cool company. So this should be a sample pack, and let's see what's actually in here. I've kind of forgotten what was on it. I looked at it on the website, so getting this opened up, and let's see what we have. So there's a packing slip, as you can well imagine, and then we've got a bunch of, looks like the cans are basically loose, and they're cold too. I'm not sure how they managed to be cold, but you could probably get into these right away. So let's see what we got here. So West Coast IPA, that sounds great to me. And it looks like for each of these, they're arranged in 4s. Some of them are a little bit beaten up, but I'm sure the beer is still perfectly good. So that's kind of a nice logo. And, 12 fluid ounces. That'll be nice. This is 90 calories. That's another thing about non-alcoholic beer. You take the alcohol out, you take a lot of the calories out. And some of the NA beers that I have can be as low as like 45 calories. I don't think many of them go over 100. And the taste is really on point. Let's see what the next one is. All right, Golden Light. So maybe that's something like a Pilsner or a Farm Ale or something along those lines. 65 calories in that one. It's listed as being, does it say anything about this? Not really, so we'll just have to taste it and find out. The next one, now I've been looking forward to checking this out. I do like IPAs quite a bit. I know that some people like to make fun of, ooh, it's trendy. Who likes that much bitterness? Well, I do, because I love bitter beer. because I'm a grown-up man, and have those sort of tastes, and have been drinking bitter beers since I was a teenager, right? And especially in the Army when I was over in Germany. So I do like beers, IPAs especially, that have like citrus with them. So Blood Orange, that's probably going to be pretty tasty. We have a great grapefruit IPA here in the Milwaukee area because we've got so many great beers here. So we got 2 IPAs and a Golden Light so far. Let's see what else we got. I think we're going to get into heavier beers now. So next one, Oatmeal Dark. This is going to be a stout, I'm sure. This one is 110 calories, so there's a lot more going on in there. You can expect that this is going to not only have oatmeal in it, but it's also got, quite bitter hop content, and there should be chocolate malt and crystal malt and, made with darker malt barley as well, and a lot of it, so that should be kind of fun. And interestingly, I'll mention this too. If you got a stout or a porter or an IPA, those, when they're alcoholic, they do tend to be on the higher range of things. All of these are, the same amount of alcohol, less than, it's not necessarily no alcohol altogether. There can be sometimes a tiny trace of it, but it's very little compared to the others. Then we got something that's a little bit unusual, and we'll just same kind of packaging here, right? I guess they use this for all of their dark beers. So this is a peanut butter dark beer. And I don't know exactly what this is going to taste like. I do like peanut butter, and so this could be kind of interesting. This is also 110 calories, so a lot going on in there. Oh, there's actually little descriptions on the back. I'll read these to you after we get through the entire thing. And then we got this, another fruit beer, a Raspberry Gose. This one is just 70 calories, so a lighter beer. That's actually 65, the lightest of them. So this will be kind of fun. Should be kind of, if I know my beer titles right, this should be kind of sour and sweet at the same time. I think all of these are things, I know I will like all of these, and I think my wife will probably enjoy most of these as well. So let's see what each of the descriptors are. Let's look at the IPAs first. So both of these say hoppy, and then this one says dank, something we usually reserve for pot, marijuana stuff, but it makes sense, because the hop plant has the same kind of flavor profile as does marijuana, doesn't it? So dank kind of makes sense. It says citrus. There is no actual citrus in this, but a good IPA does have that sourness that comes from that. This obviously says citrus because why? Blood orange in it, and fresh. So whatever fresh means, that sounds good. Let's take a look at the 2 lighter beers. How are they described? Light, crisp. This is also described as crisp, and dry. Okay, so dry is kind of interesting. Should have a bit of bite to it, you could say. So that'll be fun. And then this is described as crisp, sweet, tart. So not like cloying sweet sour sauce, but a good balance of acidity coming from the Gose, right? And then raspberries are going to contribute a really rich sweetness to it, I'm hoping. Now let's see what it says about our 2 darker beers. So the stout, the Oatmeal Dark, molasses, coffee, chocolate. That's pretty rich. Okay, so I am looking forward to trying that. Maybe this is the one I'm looking forward to the most, that and the Blood Orange. And Peanut Butter Dark is described as, okay, no surprise there, nutty, peanut butter, right? Roasty, and also chocolatey. And so it's not as if these have chocolate in them, but when I talk about chocolate malt, I'm talking about a specialty barley that has been roasted so that it, releases some of the sugars in it, like crystal malt does, but it's roasted a bit more so that you get a chocolatey taste that is coming from the not quite burning of the barley. There is also darker specialty malts that you can put in that are much more roasted. Chocolate is like just the right amount. So some really interesting things here. We got a 24-pack, as you can see. So I'm going to be enjoying these for quite a while because even with these, I can't say that I always drank in moderation my whole life. That would be a complete lie, since it was the opposite at many points in my life. But nowadays, I'm pretty temperate when it comes to this. And so I'm looking forward to trying these from time to time. The good thing is you can try as many as you like without getting, wasted. And I am this is going to kickstart something that I've been talking about doing with the video channel for quite a while. So what is that? Because I'm doing non-alcoholic beers and probably will continue with that the rest of my life, I don't see any point in going back to drinking alcoholic beers, even if I don't have to deal with blood sugar issues or stuff like that, because there's so many good ones. I've been wanting to do reviews, online reviews, and actually pour a glass and take a sip and talk to you about what I like or don't like about them and whether they would be good for you to do. And so I will probably start doing that within the next month or so. Certainly with Bravus, there's some other companies that I like as well. So I think that could be something quite fun for me. I mean, if you think that's a great idea, go ahead and leave a comment. If you think that's a terrible idea, go ahead and leave a comment as well. I suppose if you are ambivalent about it, you could leave 2 comments or just none. But so kind of a cool thing to arrive here. Really looking forward to enjoying this. And I got to say thanks to my benefactor, Kathmandu, who had these shipped to me. And you sent them to somebody who really does enjoy beer and knows a lot about it, since I used to brew beer myself. So this is going to be really quite enjoyable. So that's it from me. This is the latest thing that I've had to unbox, and I think this is pretty cool.